Welcome to the Outer Darkness Happy Hour podcast. We're John and Ashley.
This is not your typical Exmo Nevermo podcast.
We're here to share our stories, but we want to hear yours.
So grab a drink and pull up a chair and let's talk about life in the outer darkness.
This episode contains discussion of sexual abuse and trauma. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to the RAIN National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE.
Hi, welcome to the Outer Darkness Happy Hour podcast. I'm Ashley and I'm in Nevermo.
And I'm John and I'm a former Mormon.
Exmo.
We
are doing the second in a series of interviews with the lovely Stephanie. So thank you for joining us again.
Absolutely.
And we're just kind of going to take off where we left off.
Yep.
Keep it going.
Our
so
second
it's totally
series.
Yep.
Yes.
So where do you want to start us out?
Okay, so the natural progression would put us back in Pensacola. So I was getting a divorce and my husband was deployed. So the only place that the military will send you back to is your spouse's home of record, like if you weren't married before. So they sent me back to Pensacola. And my brother still lived there. My brother Eric still lived there. And so my mom decided to move down to Pensacola. And this was in 2008. So yeah, because she moved like the year that my twins were born. So I had to like face my mom again. Which is really weird when you haven't talked to your parent in 8 years, you know?
Yeah, and now you're somewhat of an adult too, right?
Yeah, and I'm adult, and I just had like my third and fourth kid, right? Yeah. So I'm 23 and I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
whole new perspective, right?
Yeah.
Whole new perspective. But my younger sister Cindy was 17 at that point. So I didn't see Cindy from the time that she was about to turn 10, so about a month before she turned 10, until she was 17 again. And that by the time that I had gotten there, she was in a pretty deep depression. Like she tried to commit suicide several times and ended up in the ICU on a ventilator, and then she ended up in a psych ward, and instead of putting her into state care, they sent her back to my mom and stepdad. So it's like no matter how this poor kid tried to escape, she couldn't escape. Yeah. So hold on, let me take a drink.
It's a good time for all of us, yeah. Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Yeah, so Cindy was 17. She had still never been to school. She didn't have any friends. She had acquaintances at church, but that was it. Like girls that were somewhat nice to her because they were at church. But she never actually got to develop those friendships. Well, when she turned 18, she made a MySpace. And she was really fascinated with Wicca. And so she joined this Wicca group. And that has nothing actually to do with what happened with her. Except that's how they met up, and they invited her to West Virginia to come stay with them, because she didn't have a place to stay after that so much. She stayed with me. Actually, she stayed with me for several months. And it just didn't work out. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Okay. So she had a warped sense of humor by that point, because you can't live through like that intense abuse and not have a warped sense of humor. It's
going to leave a mark.
It leaves some serious marks, right? So she stayed at my house for probably 4 months, and I was going to let her help me babysit because I was working full time, and I had 4 kids and was a single mom, right? So I move her in with me, and my kids start getting hurt, and she like just laughs at it. She thought it was funny. and they're my babies, my children, and so I went mama bear on her. But I ended up finding a poem that she wrote. It was really weird. She put it in a
Pentagram.
Thank you, pentagram, drawn on the floor in my kids' sidewalk chalk. And then in the middle, it was under my carpet, under my rug. And in the middle of it was the poem about how she enjoyed pain. So my son's nose had just gotten broken. Like my oldest daughter was 5 at the time, and she was pushing him around in his high chair while Cindy was supposed to be watching him. And that never goes well. But the high chair tipped, and he fell and broke his nose on the floor, right?
Yeah.
And instead of trying to help the baby, she laughed. So at that point, I made her leave because those were my babies.
Yeah.
You had to choose your kids.
I had to choose my kids.
Yeah.
Had to choose my kids. So this was in September. She left my place. It was September 28th when she left my house. So I guess her friend bought her a train ticket or a bus ticket, Greyhound bus, and she took the bus down there. And then she met up with her group. She got married, like within 2 weeks of being there. And then the 3rd week she was there is when they did the murder. So they, one of the boys told a story about this man who had allegedly assaulted him as a child, and it was never taken seriously in the reports. So they decided, because he was living his best life, that they should go take his life and then rob him. But when they got there, the boy went in the room. Sorry.
Oh, God.
The other boy went
How
in the
old
room.
was the boy?
So the other two, she was 18, and the other 2 boys were like in their early 20s.
Okay.
So she was the youngest involved. So she went along with a pre-formed plan to go in and take this guy out. When I believe it was Trevor got into the bedroom and stabbed Terry in the chest, he realized there was a little boy in bed with him, and so they felt even more vindicated because to them that's proof that he was a child abuser. So my sister met him in the hallway with a knife after he had escaped and tried to call for help, and her wounds were his fatal wounds. So it was really, really hard to deal with at the time, like really hard to deal with, because the whole situation, like how do you explain that? In her paperwork, though, I was looking over her appeal not too long ago. In her paperwork, though, it specifies that she has a high school diploma and that she was able to go from fix to fix without any jobs, like she was a drug addict. She wasn't a drug addict. She had no access to drugs at my house. She never did drugs. So any drugs she did do were in that 3-week period of time, right? You can't really secure employment in 3 weeks also. Yeah. It's crazy when you look at what they put in that appeal. Like, I know that the boy that went in there, it was Trevor Bosley. What was I going to say? Shoot.
It's okay. You can backtrack a little if it helps.
What was I going to say?
When he went in there to actually kill him?
Yeah. When he went in there to actually kill him. So the night of the crime, Bosley drove. Okay, so this was his alleged abuser. And then Jeffrey Taylor went inside with my sister, Cindy Allman. And that's when Jeffrey Taylor did the first stabbing in the bed, and he found the little boy, the 8-year-old boy. So, of course, he stopped, right? And then, when he got up and went to the hallway to go call for help, because apparently his wife was sleeping in another room, that's when my sister met him in the hallway. So they took care of him, they grabbed his safe, and they left with it. So a total of like $5,000 for all that. But it wasn't about the money at all. It was about this man who had allegedly assaulted, Bosley.
Yeah.
And I tend to believe, I tend to believe the child. Now, is it right to end somebody's life because they didn't receive justice in the justice system? No, it's not. And I don't think that we should have a whole bunch of vigilantes running around. But these murderers are created. They're not just born. They're not born evil. It's a series of events that happen to them in their life. And I fully believe that most people are capable of murder. They just haven't been put in that situation where they actually have to choose, and there's someone standing before them where they don't see them as quite human anymore.
Yeah.
We talked about that when we met for coffee. That and you were talking about your sister, how she kind of put herself in a position to be a vigilante because she couldn't really get justice for herself. She couldn't go after the people that had abused her.
Right.
So she wanted to give someone else justice, and right or wrong. That like you said, most people aren't put in that position. They're not broken. But the desire to want to hurt the person that hurt you is a very real and human desire. And you put that in a broken person, they're not going to be able to handle, you know what I mean? Of course they're going to act on it.
Yeah.
Right. So I have this theory that the church is creating their own predators and their own prey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then
supply and demand.
Yeah, and then when you do that, you also create your own vigilantes too. So, like Cindy, she wasn't, she's just an ordinary person, right? She was born in 1990. Like, I guess she did have a really, really rough start. She had a really rough start.
Yeah.
Like when she was born to my, my mom and my stepdad, Alan. And Alan, he was interesting. He is my cross-dressing Satanist stepdad.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that's right.
Square dancing.
Yeah, square dancing, yeah.
Square
That you
dancing.
throw that whole thing, the cross-dressing in a square dance outfit really seals the deal.
It really seals the deal. I feel so horrible for him that he had to hide that,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and to be perfectly clear, like, the cross-dressing Satanist never sexually abused anyone. So I just want to make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
Okay, there was some physical abuse. It was far less than my father. Okay?
I think it's worth noting, especially with the church's hyper-focus on trans people harming children.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
Just
most of the harmers are those heterosexual white men out there in positions of power in church.
Right. Like, the discipline, I think, was even initiated by my mother, because it was many of the things that she had done with my father that she just carried it down. So I think that the reason he became violent also, Alan, my stepdad, was because the way he was confronted too. It wasn't a good situation, especially in the 90s. Like, cross-dressing was not a good thing.
No.
It was not acceptable, and definitely not as a member of the church. So, I guess she started out with my mom thinking that she was cursed.
Yeah.
You know? And then when you think about it, like, the poor kid never had a chance. I was able to go to public school until the end of 5th grade. She didn't get that opportunity. She never got to go to any school at all. She never got to go to preschool. She didn't get to go to any of these, after school camps or meet any friends. She was isolated and taught the stories of Nephi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nephi said, I will go and do the things the Lord commands. And in that story, it's actually a story about a murder.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to see her as just a villain, because I believe the church created that villain, and I believe that they're creating a whole lot more. Like, I think that there's going to be so many more women like Cindy, that feel like they need to rise up because no one rose up for them.
Yeah.
It's true. She was the baby when you guys made that cross country journey, right? I mean, she had never any normalcy.
No
whatsoever.
normalcy. No normalcy.
Yeah.
And most of her formative years, like, she learned to walk, like, while we were living in a tent. Okay? She didn't have a safe place to play. No security.
Yeah.
And then there was violence too, clearly, So when you're raised in that, it just...
What chance did she have, right? The cards were stacked against her in so many ways.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I want to say that she had a choice, but when it comes down to it, was she really raised to make a different choice?
Or emotionally capable of making a different choice.
I don't
Without
think-
that emotional, maturity and natural growth you have, a child throws a tantrum, they act on an emotion, but they learn as they grow that you can't do that. But if you're never given the opportunity to learn that, then you have these real adult emotions and this real adult trauma.
Right.
She acted on it.
Yeah.
Oh, he hurt you? Let's go take care of him.
Yeah.
Let's do it, right?
She's like, my offender, my predator hasn't been caught yet.
Yeah.
He's still out there. This was in 2009, and Richard Forrester wasn't caught again until late 2011, 2012-ish, okay? So he didn't even go to jail until 3 years after, because she went to prison the end of 2009. So it was about 3 years after she went to prison, he was finally arrested again.
Is she getting any help in prison? Do you have contact with her?
I do have contact with her. We talk every few weeks. It's difficult. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not my job to punish her, and I don't intend to punish her. But it's really hard trying to talk to her about anything hopeful, Like, she knows that I'm talking about her, and she knows the reason that I'm talking about her, and she's just fine with it. And she said, nobody else sees it that way, is what she said. So.
Well, I mean, her story is a story worth telling too, and
Yeah.
I just hope that, knowing what you've said about her mental state, stuff, that she's getting some kind of help, because if she's spending the rest of her life in prison,
It's not very helpful. She's struggling right now. So she has bipolar with psychosis. And it seems like she's always had that psychosis. So she has a habit of self-harming. And then they put her into solitary confinement, which really messes with her psychosis. And then it makes her violent when they put her back into general population. And so she may lash out on another prisoner, and then that puts her back into the hole. And so now she is in this horrible state of almost perpetual psychosis. because she's been in and out of solitary confinement so much.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, her prison has, they call it an ADSEG program that they just introduced. So she has about 3 years in isolation where she only interacts with the guards. And then after that 3 years, then they'll put her back in general population if she's still alive and if she hasn't self-harmed and if she doesn't have any more charges for self-harming.
You know, the thing that saddens me the most about the whole story is before she was the criminal, she was a victim.
Yeah.
And because nobody came to her aid, nothing was ever done for her. The person that harmed her was never prosecuted or, punished in any way. Her life led to the kind of inevitable, right?
Right.
And the person that hurt her is still out there. Mm-hmm. You should be You should be punished for murder. You should be punished for murder.
I
Absolutely, 100%. You should also be punished for harming children.
A good 15 to 20 year sentence would be sufficient.
Yeah.
But she's life without possibility of parole. Mm-hmm. And every couple of years, the family wants to petition for the death penalty, which is extremely hard.
Because you never know how that's going to go, right?
Yeah. And the only reason that she took the plea deal was because they told her she had a chance at parole after 20 years. So they essentially baited her with a deal and then didn't put it in writing. She was 18, so she didn't know any better. And then when they sentenced her, they gave her no mercy. And they said, you should have known better as a high school graduate. How dare you be a bum and not have a job? Mm-hmm. They didn't take any account where she came from.
Her past.
What
led up to this, what built up to
right.
what she did.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know it's pretty heinous to use a knife, like that's pretty close and personal, but I think she saw it as
a reckoning.
A reckoning, taking
Sure.
out her abuser.
Yeah.
Because there's that saying, dead pedophiles don't kill.
Mm-hmm.
That was around then too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she doesn't feel justified in it anymore. She says that if she could go back, she would have chosen not to go, But in hindsight, what do you do?
Yeah.
So did the two other males, they were also sentenced to life?
Yeah, they were also sentenced to life without parole. And then Alexander Bosley is now Heather Bosley. So, which is interesting. It's also pretty telling, Like, most people don't change genders for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to help her now. I don't know what I can do for her except for lobbying against using solitary confinement as a punishment or extended solitary confinement. I understand having to separate the prisoners and confine them like for a day or so, or even up to a week. But there's been times where she's spent 120 days in total isolation.
That's inhumane.
At one time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it absolutely breaks my heart. And I get that she is in prison, but that is the punishment, being in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it seems like they don't care. They don't rehabilitate. She's gotten some therapy, but it's not consistent. And when she's in ADSEG, which means solitary confinement, they would have to do all the therapy with the door open, and that's a HIPAA violation. So she doesn't get therapy while she's in solitary confinement. Yeah.
Wow.
I I know. I wish there was a happy ending where she had the chance of parole or something. I mean,
or just the proper care to find some sort of peace while she's in there. Like she is being punished. She's not out in the world.
Right.
She's not going to harm anybody else.
right.
But the humane thing would be to let her have the proper therapy, the proper treatment, and to rehabilitate, even if it's to rehabilitate and assimilate into prison life.
Right.
To be part of that community, you know, not
Right.
locked in a room by herself, scratching on the walls and panicking and being put into a perpetual state of psychosis.
But prison isn't meant for rehabilitation, no matter
No.
what they try and tell you.
Yeah.
Prison is meant for punishment. And there's a lot of sadistic guards there. A lot of people who love to mess with prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's a really large number of like Mormon female murderers. Have you paid attention to the Mormon female murderers?
I have not.
Like, okay, so there is Lori Vallow, there's Corey Richens, there's what is the other ones? I'm gonna have to look them up real quick.
That's fine.
There's like 6 or 7 in the past 5 or 6 years.
I had no idea.
Lori Vallow, they did a documentary on her, correct?
Yeah,
We watched
yeah.
that.
Oh, that one.
Blonde,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, the blonde.
Yeah.
She killed her children because she decided that
They were-
they were zombies.
That's right. Up in
And-
Idaho, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She decided that her job gathering the 144,000 for God was more important.
Yeah.
And so her kids just had to go. Like, how horrible is that?
Yeah.
How horrible is that? And then, yeah, hold on. Can you think of any other religion that has so many female murderers?
Honestly, no. I mean, but the Mormon religion produces a lot of trauma,
Right?
It really
a
does.
lot of harm against women and children.
Yes. Shanna Gardner also. Shanna Gardner, she, her parents own Stampin' Up.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I know
Yeah. And she had her Microsoft executive husband murdered. Like, she put out a hit for him and had him murdered. I know there's more.
Stampin' Up. Didn't they live in Alpine or Lehigh? I
Yeah.
had friends that were
Yeah.
there in their ward years ago.
Is that an MLM?
No, that's a city in Utah.
No, Stamp It Out.
Stampin' Up, yeah.
Yeah, Stampin' Up. It's like,
it is kind of an MLM, isn't it?
it is
Yeah.
an MLM. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, because when I first moved to Utah, it's funny. I knew you hear of certain MLMs. I didn't
Yeah.
realize they were all in Utah. We were driving down
Birthplace of
was it
MLMs.
I-15, and I'm like, wait,
Lehigh.
on each side there's a billboard for all these MLMs.
Stampin' Up. You say that now. It rings
I
a
should have
bell.
been better prepared. But even just with those few examples, that's a lot of Mormon women who are murdering. So, I mean, like, why is it that they see it as a solution? Probably because it's been presented them as a solution for their entire childhood growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we could throw up a little stat here too later, but like per capita, I mean, women are overall a much smaller percentage of murderers. So to have that many that are Mormon is a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Right,
You know?
right. And then I really feel like we're going to get more vigilante murderers because everything that's gone on in the church and how the church covers things up, it's going to create that.
I'm surprised more mothers haven't killed their children's abusers, to be quite honest.
I'm surprised too.
Yeah. There should be a special prison for the women who kill their child's abusers. Like it should have a golf course and a pool and a spa. And,
Yeah. A nice college campus.
Just no knives and
Yeah, just
no knives, no guns.
Yeah.
You're just contained.
Yeah, we actually made the world a better place. So
You get a prize for helping.
it's prison.
You're welcome. So I was talking to Cindy about this, and she was telling me that the pedophiles in her prison are protected. They're a protected class. So if you assault them, you get a hate crime charge.
A hate crime?
A hate crime against
Yes, pedophiles.
pedophiles?
You were not supposed to hate them?
Right.
I thought they were the lowest form of an inmate.
Well, they're not protected by other inmates. They're protected by the prison.
They're protected by the prison.
I thought you meant with amongst the inmate
No,
community.
the inmates probably want to take care of them.
The inmates want to take care of them.
Yeah.
But I know in her prison, and I looked and there's several others, it is a hate crime. If
Fucking
you
A.
assault a pedophile in prison.
God.
So why are they giving them these really light sentences and then protecting them in prison and then putting them back out into society?
Yeah.
You know, because it's really hard to get a life sentence. Really hard to get a life sentence. Like, you have to have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And have many, many victims.
Yeah, brutal rapists get out in 5 to 7 years,
Yes.
if that.
Yes.
If they just promise to turn over a whole new leaf,
Yeah.
I will never do that again.
Right.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
free to go do it again.
Yeah.
And again.
Yep. So, you know, when people think, oh, well, they're going to go to prison, they're going to have a really tough time. No, these pedophiles are not having a really tough time in prison, actually. They
Bummer.
are-
That was something I actually enjoyed thinking, that they got punished when
Yeah.
they went to
No.
prison.
I know, but that is a myth. And it's a harmful myth because we think that there's some sort of justice being
Yeah.
performed.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah, the punishment for rapists and pedophiles is not even close to sufficient. Not even close. Mm-hmm. If the punishment was death, maybe they would think twice.
Right? So this is incredibly horrifying and scary. So I was trying to figure out why Richard Forrester's case didn't hit the news in Maricopa County, right? And what I was looking at is there are so many predators that is a common charge. He's just another day in Maricopa County.
Yeah.
It's like a DUI or a driving,
Yeah.
being pulled over for speeding or something.
But-
It's that common.
How is someone who's, has an active warrant for child sex assault, how is that person able to go to church, have a calling in the nursery, right?
Yeah.
Have a calling in the nursery while he has an active warrant out for his arrest for child sex assault? It's insane to me.
Yeah, how can the church not know that?
It's insane to me.
Don't they know everything about
Yeah, they have
everybody?
the-
They know when you
discernment,
move.
right?
They
They
know
have
when
the
you,
power
yeah.
of discernment, right?
They must be right.
Yeah.
They must be right. But apparently it is so fucking common in Phoenix, Arizona that it doesn't even bother hitting the news when someone has over 40 felonies, including kidnapping and child rape and exploitation. Didn't hit the news. His appeal didn't hit the news. And I find that absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Horrified.
Yeah.
He's the one that
There's
his
no
bishop
justice.
bailed him out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then put him
Put
in
him
the nursery?
in the nursery.
Or send him
He was
somewhere?
already in nursery.
Oh.
And then his next calling, when he skipped out on bail because, Bishop Cowley, he bailed him out of jail and then put him up in a motel and made sure he had money for stuff. And he skipped out on bail. He moved directly to Mesa, Arizona, and then started going to church next Sunday, and they put him in position. They put him directly in nursery. There was nothing, no notes, nothing to say, hey, this is a possibly dangerous guy.
Yeah.
To put with children.
To put with children.
How did they rationalize that? You think if he's just trying to protect a member of the church, he would have sent him somewhere, but then tried to make sure he couldn't do any more harm. Or
Right.
at least not give him a freaking hall pass into,
Right?
yeah, the meat market. Yeah, I can't believe that he did that as a bishop. Just served up all these children. And I mean, as members of the church, that they should be infuriated because he put them there with their children. Like you do blindly trust church members, right? So you send your child to nursery. Is that how the Mormon church does it? The kids go to nursery and you go to church?
Yeah.
They don't come with you?
2 hours. No, they're
okay.
there 2 hours.
So you send them to nursery and you're just, I mean, so much can happen.
There's
all
no
the
cameras in that nursery.
Yeah,
because it would be wrong to film children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not to molest them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even a basic background check would have said, don't put the pedophile with the babies.
Yeah.
Right? I want everyone to know that if you went to church with Richard Daniel Forrester, he went by Dan Forrester, like if you were in Harmony Park Ward in the year 2000 and your child was in the nursery, he might have assaulted them. And I want Bishop Cowley to know that, those victims are on his hands, especially the 9 other victims that came after me.
I mean, we'll check the legality of it, whether we can do it or not, but we can always throw up a picture of him with his name.
Yeah.
If that's
Yeah.
like a PSA.
Yeah. He's an old man.
Yeah.
However, I am working on writing him a letter because I really feel like it's important that he fully understands the actions, or that he fully understands the consequences of his actions. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Like his actions had horrible consequences. Horrible consequences.
Where's he at now?
The bishop?
No, the Richard.
Richard? Oh, he's in the Mesa, Arizona prison.
Oh,
Okay, so he is in prison. That's why I was saying put his picture up in case people had their kids with him in nursery, but may not just recognize him by name. You know what I mean?
I need to.
It triggers memories.
Maybe I can talk to my niece and get one. I bet she might have them, or she might have burned them.
Okay.
Most pictures were burned in a sacrificial fire.
Yeah, sounds about right. Along with
I
a
may have stabbed
along with
out.
a little voodoo doll. We're not condoning or suggesting violence.
I'm
It's
not.
a doll.
It's a picture.
And they're pictures. Yeah.
It's a picture. I didn't hurt anyone, even though I wanted to.
Yeah. That's where you do the magic, like just in case, it's not gonna work, but you're like, it just makes you feel better.
Stick your ass in the freezer.
If that stuff actually worked, people walking down the street would just be spontaneously combusting in front of us all the time. Thank God voodoo dolls don't work.
Seriously.
Well, ow.
Right? Right?
It's amazing how much power we give bishops.
Yeah.
I just remember growing up thinking the bishops were the closest thing I could see that were connected to God. They were the mouthpiece of God that lived in my neighborhood.
Well, it's like
I
Catholics
really thought
yeah.
they were chosen.
And you went to the bishop for everything.
So it's like a priest.
It's a priest, yeah, a priest,
But
pastor.
at least, okay, yes, we all know what happens in the Catholic Church with priests. Like maybe not every priest, obviously, but at least the priests go through training to become a priest. Anybody who's appointed to be a bishop is suddenly put in power, but
it's a minimal amount of general training.
Yeah, but they're not like, none of them are counselors, psychologists, none of them have had full-on background checks. You know what I mean? Like,
none of them.
At least with other clergy or even pastors had to go to a school to become this thing. They weren't just given this honor pulled out of some prophet's ass, like, you're gonna be a bishop.
Yeah. You're gonna be a bishop. I know you're just a plumber, but you pay the most tithing, so you're gonna be the bishop.
Is that where the orders come from? The butts of the prophets? Is that?
I think so.
Okay, is that the technical way?
Yes.
Grab the forceps and pull it out?
Yeah. That's technically how they do it.
Today's scroll, the butt scroll. Sorry. I think it's all dumb. I think all religion is.
I hear that so often where the bishop comes and steps up for someone that's in jail who's a pedophile and writes a letter or bails them out, like you mentioned. Where do they just show up out of nowhere to help other pedophiles?
Yeah, right.
Why not help the
That's
children?
That's not part of their fucking job.
And the only thing that I can think is he took pity on Richard because he has the same issues.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, there's more to it than just...
That's the conclusion that I've come to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we discussed that last time. Yeah, it's like, how can it be, how can you view something as bad or wrong when you're doing it yourself? You don't want to vilify it. You want to still believe you're a good person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Yay, religion.
It's insane. Like, what does all this sound like to you as a nevermo?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It just, for me, and I feel bad because I know some lovely people who are religious. Lots of lovely, lovely people who are religious and use that for good. I think religion is the absolute dumbest thing human beings ever created, and it was created by men so they could have power over the poor, the weak, women, children, and secure their positions. And that's it. I think that's the only purpose it serves. I think it still serves that purpose. You look at the certain evangelical churches that back certain political parties, it's all just money, power, greed, sex, rape, pedophilia, crime, embezzlement. It's a crime syndicate.
Yeah.
The Christianity is the mob. You know what I mean? They're all shysters, grifters.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I think it's crazy. I think religion is stupid. I think the idea behind helping people, loving people, taking care of your neighbor, protecting children, and being a good person is ingrained in us, and we don't need a fucking book to tell us how to behave. That's how I feel.
So when I really started reading the Bible, I stopped going to a Mormon church in like 2011-ish, right? And so I started going to non-denominational churches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to those.
And I tried, like, my ex-husband, my kid's dad was a Southern Baptist, so I tried Baptist churches. And I started reading just the Bible, and I was horrified by what was in it.
Oh, it's
It is
horrible.
no moral code.
No.
It's no moral
No.
code.
No. Oh, your head's uncovered? Stone ya.
Right?
Yeah, right?
You eat shrimp?
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys can't get your protein anymore.
Yeah.
Enjoy anal? We're going to burn down your town. Yeah.
Right? Right?
I just think, yeah, it's all control. It's hate. There is more hate in the Bible
Yes. Yes.
than in any other book.
And I think that there is more death because of the Bible than any other book.
Yeah.
I mean,
Noah's Ark. That's one story out of many.
Oh, the flood.
God has a fit and sends a flood and kills everybody except Noah and his family and a couple
even
of friends.
all the babies.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the babies,
Yeah.
all the animals, all the poor
But
puppies
it's
running
like,
around.
even if the flood just happened, because all through history, there's like a common tide, like the flood story. We watch it on the Y-Files,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. The flood story, like, even if the flood was like a real thing, religion's like, we know what we're going to do. We're going to take credit for this, and we're going to say you guys all deserve to die. Like, that's religion's mindset.
Yeah.
We're going to take this natural
Yeah.
disaster and
Let's just
make it
package in
yeah.
Christianity.
Clean it up. Give it a little PR bow.
Yeah.
PR bow.
So how did you end up interacting with Tim
Okay.
Ballard?
Okay. I need to take another drink for this.
Because that's the interesting part of your story is
Yeah.
it's like it's not just your family. You're now seeking out help from another organization that ends up just almost equally abusive, right?
Yeah, so my niece, my brother Eric's daughter, she stayed with me a lot. Like her mom Sarah she'd drop her off at my house and leave her for months, and I was okay with that because I knew she was safe at my house. You know, I knew what was going on with her. But when she was 13, yeah, it was summer she was 13, she kept getting into a lot of trouble. And when I say a lot of trouble, I mean like she was loading up shopping carts in Target and walking out the door with over $500 worth of whatever she wanted. And so she had theft charges and she had drug charges, and she was not doing well with her mom. So she did better with me, and so she spent the summer with me. And then she's like, I really don't want to go home. Like, don't make me go home. I'm like, well, if I keep you from your mom, it's kidnapping, and I can't do that. But I'm like, if you talk your mom into it, then you can come live here, and you can just live here. So she finally told her mom that she wanted to live with me. And Sarah called me up on the phone and said, come get her before I drop her off somewhere, about her 13-year-old daughter. And I got to her apartment, and she literally threw her birth certificate and social security card on the floor and said, "I never want to see this little bitch again."
And she was 13.
And she was 13. So I took her, and she cried and bawled the entire way home, and I understand. And she was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, she was a tough one. But she was tough because, okay, so I got physical custody of her like that summer, and then we got guardianship paperwork over her in November. It was on my husband's birthday. So we finally got that done so we could put her in school and everything, and put her on insurance and make sure that she was taken care of. So we did that. And then about a week later, I got a call from the FBI. And they're telling me that there's an active child rape case open. And I was now being listed as the point of contact because Sarah didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I was now her guardian. So I took care of all that. I became the point of contact. I met with the FBI agent. I met with her guardian ad litem. I met with the DA. I tried to get Sarah charged, actually. And the reason I tried to get Sarah charged is because her boyfriend, Charles Philip Grenier, was wearing an ankle monitor at the time when she met him on Tinder. He was honest about his name. He was honest about what he had the ankle monitor on his leg for, and she still went with him. Not only did she go, did she decide to couple up with this pedophile that still had an ankle monitor, she told Brooke, she told the little B that she was going to be, he was going to be their sugar daddy, and that she needed to do anything he said. And then she proceeded to take her and Philip to, he went by Philip. She proceeded to take little B and this grown pedophile to Victoria's Secret to shop for cute underwear for little B, who was 11 years old. And then they went to Vegas. They had intercourse in front of little B, and that was okay. And while she was on the same bed, to be specific.
Jesus Christ.
Right. And then Sarah knew that his daughter wasn't actually there, and so this guy used his daughter to bait. Sorry, we have to cut out her name. Okay, to bait little B into being comfortable to coming over to his house without her mother. So Sarah thought it would be really, really cute if they did a bubble bath photo shoot of a nude 11-year-old in bubbles. And she encouraged that. So when he abused her, had to just obey because that's what she was taught. She was also drugged. Yeah, so both of them, in my opinion, very much groomed little B to do what she was made to do. She was told that, she was given phones and she was given money and presents, and her mother received trips and phones and money. So I saw it as human trafficking, and I presented it to the DA that way. What they told me is that these trafficking cases are really hard to nail down, so they weren't even going to try with the trafficking. They only wanted to charge on the child rape, something that they could, something they knew that they could convict him of. Mm-hmm. And because he had so many counts, he would be in prison for life. And I guess there are harsher penalties for child rape than there are for child trafficking. So that's what they went for. Yeah, it was super hard, super hard to deal with. And I was trying to work full time while taking care of all of this stuff that brought up my own PTSD.
Sure.
So we went to a hearing, and Grenier was at most of the hearings. So when you have to go and look at these people and you're not able to throw something at their head or hurt them in any way, it makes you really angry and upset. And so I went to work later after that, and I lost it at work. I started crying hysterically, and I had to give the short version to one of my coworkers. And he knew Tim. He knew Tim personally. Oh yeah, and I had been calling OUR trying to get resources. Like, what do I do?
What's OUR?
Operation Underground Railroad.
Okay.
They claim to be like the main human trafficking rescuing company, I guess, in the United States. They claim to be the leader in it and the authority. So I'm like, I have to get her into the right therapy so that way she's not as fucked up as I am, right?
Yeah.
So I was just trying to get answers, and OUR seemed like the best option to get answers because they said that they give aftercare and they support the victims. And I'm like, well, this is definitely human trafficking. Right, because she had pictures that were taken of her that they showed in court that those images bounced from Utah to Romania to Poland and Russia and back to the U.S. So it becomes an international trafficking case at that point because of those graphics. So my coworker, after I was hysterically crying at work because you can't hold yourself together during this time. There's no physical way I should have taken the day off. I mean, just it's too much to ask to go to one of those hearings and then act normal afterwards. So he called up Tim because Tim was in his ward and he happened to be wealthy. He wasn't just a coworker; he was actually a part owner. But I don't want to give his name for his own privacy. So he called up Tim, and he's like, "You're going to meet with her." So he set up an appointment, and he actually went with me and Little B and my husband to this meeting with OUR. And he said in very specific terms, "You will help her." What they said was they couldn't provide any aftercare because we're in the United States and the United States doesn't allow it. But they would be happy to walk us through things. So Tim assigned Tyler Schwab and Jessica Mass to Little B's case. Because they had also never seen a case like this. They'd never attended a case like this in court before, so they'd never seen a trafficking case or a child rape case also. So it was either Tyler or Jessica who attended most of the hearings with us. And for the longest time, I mean, I was just grateful to have someone who understood how dark and emotional and scary the entire thing was. But I had extremely bad PTSD through the entire thing. And if they were actually trained to help with PTSD or spot PTSD, they could have actually helped a lot because I didn't know that I was having episodes. Like, I just thought I was losing my mind, right? And turns out it was a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. A full break. Thanks a lot. So Tyler and Jessica went to these hearings with us, and then they attended the trial with us. The trial ended up being a full week trial in court. And it was horrible. The prosecutor ended up making me a witness, so I couldn't go in because he was worried that I was going to be emotional and say something, which is valid because I'd called him a fucking pedophile before in court. So It's valid. However, gosh, that day I had the worst PTSD break. It was the first day of the trial, and it was the worst. I was sitting in the side room with Tyler and Jessica and my husband, and all of a sudden, like, everything goes white, like kind of white and fuzzy, and I hear this loud, like, in my ears, and I froze and started freaking out, and that was the worst PTSD break that I've ever had, and it ended up, I ended up trying to commit suicide, and I wanted to die, so when the paramedics came, I wouldn't tell them what I took, and when you do that, they take you to jail, so I ended up going to jail the first night of the trial because I took a bunch of medication. Thankfully, little B she was staying at a facility. She wanted to go to a mental health facility and stay there during the trial because it was so hard on her.
Yeah.
Right? But if OUR would have helped at all, if they would have helped with trauma counseling, we wouldn't have been there. You know, they would have been able to help point me in the right direction and say, hey, you might be having a really bad PTSD episode, and you might need to, like, be hospitalized or maybe take some time away. Yeah. So they ended up, it was the November after her trial that OUR made little B Teen of the Year for because she testified at her own trial, and they used direct victim blaming.
Is OUR and the 10 Ballard, is that like a Mormon thing? It is? Go figure.
Yeah, it's
Having
also a Mormon thing.
uncredentialed, unqualified people
Yeah.
running programs they have no business running.
Right. And as much as I appreciate Tyler and Jessica just being there, I needed someone to say, hey, this is horrible generational trauma that you're trying to fix, and you can't fix it on your own, and you're going to break.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that you can
There
fix
was no
this on
safety
your
net
own.
for you
There
at
was
all.
no safety net.
No.
Are they trained psychologists or social workers?
No.
Or
No.
none at all?
None at all. Nothing at all. So I was thinking that they were the expert in recovery from human trafficking, and they couldn't even tell me what therapy little B and I needed.
Sounds like 2 Mormon bishops were at your side. Useless.
Yeah. So the night that little B was on stage and she received her award, I think what was determined was they raked in about $18 million that night. $18 million in donation
Oh, donations.
from one gala.
And didn't they charge you for horseback riding therapy?
Yes, they did.
And
Yeah.
they made $18 million at
yeah.
that gala, but they
Yep.
charged for
Yeah.
her to be able to have
So,
horseback riding
yeah,
therapy.
the only therapy that they suggested was equestrian therapy with bridle a pope, and that is at $200 a lesson. So I was leaving work early once a week to take this girl that I was trying so desperately to save to equestrian therapy. Like, I ended up ruining my career over it, you know.
And that's a financial drain as well.
It's a financial drain. I tried asking her dad for money to help support her, and he said, "You've got it. You've got her, right?"
I mean, thank goodness for you and everything that you tried to do, but it's just both her parents just left her.
They just left her. They just abandoned her. Both of her parents. I haven't talked to my brother Eric since then.
So he effectively abandons her. The mom spoon feeds her to a pedophile and then abandons her.
And then gets pissed off when she acts out. Duh, she's going to act out. You've been freaking using her for years and years. What do you think she's going to do?
Yeah.
Why isn't she in jail?
They told me that they didn't think that she was intelligent enough to charge. They thought that she would be found incompetent.
What
I'm
about
sorry,
Cindy?
idiots are more dangerous than smart people. Like, if you think someone's not intelligent enough not to give their child to a pedophile, then that's all the more reason they should not be out walking around.
Right? I'm sorry, but Sarah has an average IQ.
Yeah.
She graduated high school like a normal person. She went to Granite High.
Yeah.
No, she's just fucked up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just, instead of trying to change things, she decided to join it. Like her own brother, she's got her own mess of a family. Like her brother Joseph is a registered sex offender, and he likes 13 and 14-year-old girls. And then her brother Michael, he had a 15-year-old girlfriend while he was, I think, 24. And the girl and the uncle, her uncle, ended up realizing how messed up it was, and the girl killed him.
Yeah, there's a lot of murder caused by pedophiles.
So now Brittany is in prison because she murdered her abuser, which was Sarah's brother. And Sarah didn't see anything wrong with Michael dating a 15-year-old as an adult. But, I mean, like, it was so gross. I used to braid my hair in French braids a lot. And Joe, her brother, would come up to me, like, I was 16, and he'd grab my braids and go, "Giddy up, I'm going to ride you." And I didn't get that until way later, and Sarah just thought that was so funny.
God.
Just so funny. So, moral of the story is if you raise your kids around pedophiles, you might be raising a vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone that ends up being complacent and
Or, yeah.
other children
Someone
being
normalizes
abused.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So OUR.
Okay, so OUR. So I'm looking it up, and I'm looking at ProPublica, and it doesn't have 2019 on there, but in 2020 to 2021, they raised 42 million in donations. In 2022, they raised another 25.9 million in donations. 2023, 43.8 million in total donations. So the company is doing rather well, and what they claim to do is to help trafficking victims. Now, I want to know who these victims are that they're helping, because if little B doesn't qualify, who qualifies? You know?
Yeah.
So there's no actual proof that they've actually saved anyone. And they're getting all of these millions and millions of dollars, and they say that 80% of that is going to
what I feel is if they're raising that much money, you shouldn't have to pay for therapy. No one should have to pay for therapy. It should be provided to them by the nation's top experts, because they have plenty of money to pay for it.
Right. So Donald Trump has pushed Tim Ballard before, right? He's speaking with our top government officials, whatever. You would think that he would actually want to help kids, but it doesn't appear that way. Like with my own experience, he learned from the experience. You know, they definitely took a lot of knowledge from that 2-year trial, but they didn't help the victims in any way. You know, it's sad. So for a while, my husband's like, just stop looking at it like that. Like, you have to just be grateful that there was someone there sitting there with us that kind of understood how horrible the situation was. I'm like, I am forever grateful for that. However, I feel used.
Yeah.
I feel like I was used, and I feel like little B was used, and I feel like they ended up making money off of her.
Well, yeah, they use that award assembly, right? That award ceremony to that gala to raise donations.
It was huge. That gala was huge in 2019. So now Tim has like his whole big escapade that's going on. So he's got his lawsuits, and I feel dumb for falling for like the same thing again. Pretty much, it seems like, I don't know. Maybe I was primed to accept OUR and to think that they were actually doing good, but
You shouldn't feel dumb. You needed help, and you were in a vulnerable situation, and you were trying to help a child.
yeah, I was
You know,
actually.
it's on them for
I
being
actually
dishonest.
took the kid in my home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the work.
Yeah.
And it was so hard. Okay, Tim Ballard. So in 2023, it was when everything hit the fan with Tim Ballard, and he was accused of using his, they call it the couples ruse, in order to sexually, not sexually assault, but to manipulate these women into doing what he wanted sexually. Okay, so he would train these women. He would say, sorry, training these women to basically do whatever he wanted, like kiss all over him and do everything but have intercourse.
Wait, okay, so this guy, he's running the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, Operation
and,
Underground
and then
Railroad.
so then there's like him and his wife. He's basically doing what Epstein and his wife did. They brought these girls in. The wife helped him, like, here, I'll make them trust, initially. And he's the same person, just under
He's
a different...
the Mormon version,
Yeah.
I think.
The Mormon version of
Yeah,
Epstein.
so Catherine owns Children Need Families, and they are
Jesus Christ.
they're bringing children
Shut
over
up.
from Haiti. They own 2 orphanages in Haiti. So there's a story that they tell about Gardy Marty, a 3-year-old boy that was kidnapped in Haiti. I'm not completely sure the little boy existed, but the guy that says that the little boy was his son, he runs 2 orphanages, and he was a member of the church. And so Tim sells statues of Gardy Marty, this dad who was looking for his son who was kidnapped, like, I want to say in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, if it actually happened. But, okay, so they are saying they feed all this money into the orphanages. It turns out that's not actually true. They've taken camera crews into the orphanages and found that they have subpar living standards. So they're also taking these children from the orphanages, and those are the children that Children Need Families are adopting to U.S. families. And then I believe part of the troubled teen industry is being fed because of these adoptions from Haiti, because they're adopting these children who actually have family in Haiti. The reason why a lot of mothers give up their children is because they can't afford to feed them. So they'll give them up to orphanages, even though their parents are still alive, right? They think that they're going to be fed and clothed and provided school there. And they think that they're going to be taken better care of. So they convince these women to give up their kids. They go to the orphanages, and the orphanages are funneling those children into Utah. So white families specifically. How well do you think these children from Haiti are going to assimilate? And when they start to push back, these families are sending them to these troubled teen industry places. They're sending them to wilderness camps.
Oh, we all know how
Yeah, we know
those
how
go.
that,
Yeah.
we know how those end up.
Like, it's insane. It's insane.
Utah's like a puppy mill for children.
Yes, it is. It is. But it's also, I think it's also the starting point of a lot of the child exploitation material too. Because it's coming from people like Charles Philip Grenier, and then he's bouncing it across platforms. and sending it away. So I wonder, do we have such a problem with this because the church is basically moving and protecting pedophiles? And is that what gave Tim his job? You know? Makes me kind of
It's
wonder.
like a full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snake that bites the tail. It's just keeps going.
It goes back to the church creating their own predators and prey.
Yeah.
Because they teach all the women that exact obedience is what is expected of you. And then when you follow exact obedience, it gets you in really bad situations. Really bad situations. Where you're, playing couples ruse with Tim Ballard in Haiti or Costa Rica, and he's pretending that some drug lord is going to find out you're not really his wife if you don't, suck him off.
Yeah.
So when's this documentary gonna come out?
no
The
shit.
Tim Ballard one. 'Cause-
Oh, I bet there will be one.
Yeah.
I bet there will be one. And since he was excommunicated from the Mormon church,
He was excommunicated?
yeah, he was excommunicated. It was pretty public.
What?
Well, they had
I
to
remember-
part ways. That was a financial decision, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was-
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So someone leaked a picture of Tim Ballard's vision board, and
Do we want to know what's on it?
yeah, actually you do. Hold on. Okay. Let's bring up Tim Ballard's vision board. So he had basically like these funnels set up. So he wanted these funnels, OUR, and it's OUR, and then the Nazarene Fund, they were the sizzle that were going to go into his timballard.com. And then he was also using Children Need Family as a sizzle to put money into timballard.com.
What's a sizzle?
It's his money makers, the sizzles.
Oh.
So Children Need Family is considered one of his big
Yeah.
money makers. And then the Liberty, is it the Liberty Fund? I think. It's a 501c3. That's another one. And they think that they are going to get more members of the church too by going to places like Haiti and Costa Rica and basically targeting these really vulnerable people there. But he wanted everything to funnel into timballard.com, and he was expecting. Here, you gotta see this. You gotta see his board.
Oh yeah, we have to put this up. I'll have you send this to us. TimothyBallard.com. 25 million. Jesus.
And by the way, Tim Ballard thought that he was going to be prophet of the Mormon Church and president of the United States at the same time.
Oh, another cult leader.
Yeah. Oh, and he does a lot of ketamine. A lot of ketamine. There's some really funny stuff on Tim Ballard.
So you know the term, you've heard the term like, you don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle.
Yeah.
That's the sizzle.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Wow.
So, Timmy, why is adopting out little Haiti children a moneymaker?
Yeah.
So I said, it's
Why
like
is that a moneymaker?
Puppy mill. It's like that's
Yes.
the puppy mill over there. Hades, their puppy mill, and they're bringing in
I
the
believe
kids
that's
to make
called
money. Yeah.
child trafficking.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
sort of trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is Tim Ballard. It's so horrible. Like he's being his own problem.
Yeah. He's child trafficking in a sense.
Yeah, he is. He is. They also discovered that because of them going to these places like Costa Rica and asking for children, that they actually created the need because there weren't people selling children there before. They went in and were asking for girls and children. And so they got one mother that they convinced her. They offered her a life-changing amount of money to offer her child. And she did, and that was considered entrapment. And then the other case was, there's another case where the lady is suing back. She actually went to prison for pimping, is what they caught her on. And she's now an attorney and is trying to fight back. And Tim is now trying to like reopen that case and say that she's a human trafficker. And she's like, no, I was a pimp, not a trafficker. These people were willing and came to me. I didn't go find them. But it's actually pretty insane when you look at his company and what he's built. And like all of his movies, like The Abolitionist and what was the other one, the most recent one? It's something the Christ. It was like a big movie a couple years ago, and I can't think of it. And I feel
all the religious people were all posting about it.
Yeah. Something of the Christ. I can't remember. But it was during that time when all of this massive publicity stuff was coming down, and these women were coming out of the shadows saying, well, you actually, I would consider that spiritual and sexual abuse, because I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't have told me that is saying that the human traffickers and predators can basically smell it on them if they're not actually with him. So he's like, they'll be able to know that we're not actually husband and wife if you're not all over me, you know? If we don't, if we don't have oral copulation, they're gonna know that we're not together. Yeah. So he finally admitted to having full-on intercourse with some of these women, like they're claiming. He finally admitted it, but
he's like, I don't make the rules.
Right.
But
he still justifies it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he targeted some incredibly smart, beautiful women too, and they fell for it.
Yeah.
Well, he was in a position of power. Money, you know. It's like.
Is there any relation to the other Ballard?
Well, they were buddies and pals. So M. Russell Ballard met with him.
Is it Russell M. Ballard?
M. Russell Ballard, Russell M. Ballard. I don't know. I love when I forget things.
I do too.
So many prophets, so little time.
Yeah.
So they were buddies, and he called Elder Ballard like grandpa, and Elder Ballard gave Tim Ballard many blessings. He gave his children blessings.
Of course.
Sent him off on missions. And then when Elder Ballard found out that Tim Ballard was using his name, he said, "What? We don't have a relationship? What? No. I don't support you." And Tim is like, "What are you talking about? You're like my grandpa. You went to my kids' farewells. Like you were there when they got their mission calls, and now you don't know me."
I don't recall. That's like the
right.
I don't recall it. You're not lying if you say I don't recall. It just means you don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great Tim Ballard clip that you should get. If you search Tim Ballard Boston rant, it'll come up with this. This video he did when the news hit, when the lawsuits hit.
Cue rant for
yeah.
We'll add it in later above our heads.
It is funny. But yeah, he spent many years convincing people that he is saving children, when the only thing that we can actually verify is that he sells them.
Yeah. Well, he used your niece as a commodity for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she's exactly who certain people want to give money to help. Nice, pretty white girl. You know what I mean?
Right.
Looks kind. You know what I mean? Like they just used her as a poster child.
Yeah,
that's it.
And of course she was brave enough to stand there in front of the trial, because I had been with her for the past 2.5 years, holding her hand, saying, "You can do this. It doesn't matter how much they try and victim blame you. I will never blame you. I know what happened." Because they were saying that she, as an 11, 12-year-old girl, came on to him.
I love hearing that. I love hearing when they say that a child seduced a grown man. When I lived in Alaska, there was a music teacher there, and he got in trouble for having a sexual relationship with a girl starting, I think, the age of 13. But it didn't happen until she came forward, and women in our community that were religious and churchy had a prayer circle at my house where they prayed for him, and then after the prayer blamed the girl for seducing this married man who was also the youth pastor at a non-denominational church. Go figure. It just blaming the child for seducing an adult.
Yeah.
Because how could he control himself, right?
Yeah, how could he control himself around an 11-year-old girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Absolutely insane to me.
Yeah. It seems to be an ongoing theme, though. It's just like this story that keeps repeating itself because nothing's changed in the way it's handled and how they're punished. And the overall societal acceptance of pedophilia and older men going after little girls.
I think it's going to take as many victims as we can to stand together, hold hands, and say no more. Like, literally, sometimes it takes someone holding your hand to give you the courage to stand there and speak your truth.
Yeah.
Are there any organizations that you're aware of that do good? I mean, if people are listening to this or watching this that are going through something like that or have a family member going through this, where can they reach out to? Is there any?
There's a few resources. RAIN is really good. Let me pull it up. It's RAIN.
RAIN?
Yeah. And then there's the National Domestic Abuse Hotline that I would really suggest because learning about domestic abuse is very important.
We can add these links to
Yeah, we'll add these links to the podcast.
There's free domestic violence classes in every city. All you have to do is go to a domestic violence shelter and ask for them or call them. If you're a victim, they'll provide them to you for free.
Yeah.
That's actually how I really started to change my relationships and notice how toxic people were that I was allowing in my life.
Yeah.
And it really helped tremendously, more than any church has helped me. The Domestic Violence Coalition of Florida specifically was so helpful. So helpful. So yeah, when I donate to them quite a bit. Like, they'll take used clothes, unused makeup, unused shoes, because they're taking in a lot of women who are coming from severe domestic violence situations.
And they have nothing.
And
They
they
run
have
away
nothing.
with the shirt on their back.
Yep, you're lucky if you get your purse.
Wow.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So how are you doing now?
Pretty good. I
Good.
think I'm doing pretty good. My goal is I actually have a change.org petition out because I was a foster kid that was put into a kinship placement, and my kinship placement, my brother, is who married me off as a child, So I have a petition there, and it's asking for stricter background checks and actually looking into the people that you place children into. And maybe don't place a teenager with a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And the state of Utah still hasn't learned, because with the Frankie situation, they took the two teenage girls and put them with the older sister who was 21. And so she had like a 14 and 16-year-old, and she was only 21.
Yeah.
And they ended up running away.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not conducive to the teenager's well-being, okay?
Yeah.
It's really not when you have an older sibling who's still in the church and they're, harping on you to be a good Mormon, and you're like, damn, I'm just trying to survive this abuse,
Yeah.
So it just, a lot of the kinship placements that they're putting children in are a continuation of what they've been in previously, just at a lesser exposure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't covered?
Well, it just depends on if you're wanting, if we do another episode, or is there another story?
I've got lots of stories.
Yeah.
I have so many stories. I have way too many stories.
But all of your stories, though, someone's going to listen to them that's going through something similar, unfortunately, because it
Yeah.
just keeps happening, and it'll help them to hear, you know.
Yeah, I think right now my brother-in-law story is the most relevant because, well, I mean, the Duggars are in the news again because of Joseph Duggar assaulting his younger sister-in-law. Like, it's so common. It's so freaking common. Like, out of all of the assaults, it's going to be 40 to 60% of that is going to be your family who is assaulting the child. It's not stranger danger that you have to worry about. It is your direct family and it's your extended family.
The people you trust.
The people you trust the most, yeah.
Or should be able to trust, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
that can be a good place to end it until our next episode.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we can cheers.
Cheers to that. Thank you, Steph.
Absolutely. You can put all sorts of clips in with
Oh, we will.
Tim
For
Ballard.
sure.
There is a wealth of them.
Thank you.